Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, August 27th. Another comfortable day here in the Mid-Atlantic region. It looks like a relatively quiet week with a cool frontal system arriving late tomorrow night. It'll turn warmer on Wednesday in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor, more humid, maybe a couple of showers and a late day thunderstorm, and then lowering humidity on Thursday. And it looks like high pressure will ensure a nice start to the upcoming holiday weekend. Pretty nice weather pattern setting up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Meanwhile, on the tropical scene, Tropical Storm Dorian pretty much held steady overnight in terms of intensity. Yesterday, the maximum sustained winds were generally around 60 miles per hour. They slackened a little bit overnight to about 50 miles per hour, and it continues to move on a west-northwest course. It looks like it'll head towards the islands of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola over the next couple of days, and then ultimately towards the Bahamas and even Florida by the upcoming holiday weekend. Here's the latest visible satellite image from the Penn State EWAL site. A couple things to point out. First of all, here is the tropical storm Dorian right now. Certainly no discernible eye at this point. Again, maximum sustained winds about 50 miles per hour. It will encounter some drier air over the next day or two, and that will certainly help to inhibit its intensification over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, here's the island of Puerto Rico right here, and this is Hispaniola, Dominican Republic on the right, Haiti on the left right here, and it looks like the track will take it somewhere right in this region here over the next couple of days. And depending on exactly where it moves, it could encounter some rugged terrain over the island of Hispaniola, for example. There are peaks over 10,000 feet, and certainly that acts to disrupt the inner core of a tropical system. Tends to weaken as it passes over rugged terrain. Ultimately, the remains, whatever remains of the tropical storm, looks like it'll continue on a northwest track towards the Bahamas, and finally it could end up going right towards Florida, perhaps central Florida, over the upcoming holiday weekend. There's a chance that it could re-strengthen some after it passes these islands later this week. Meanwhile, here is a cloud patch associated with the other tropical wave that we've been monitoring. Very slow movement. It's generally hooking up with a frontal system over the western Atlantic and just drifting off to the north and east. Well, here's the official location of Tropical Storm Dorian, as well as Tropical Depression 6 here by the National Hurricane Center in Miami, right in this region right here. And again, the track is basically west-northwest, right towards the islands of Hispaniola here, Puerto Rico here. Ultimately could end up in the Bahamas and then approach Florida over the upcoming weekend. Meanwhile, Tropical Depression 6 is pretty much wrapped up with an elongated frontal system. It will continue to drift slowly to the north and east, but this is the system we're watching, and again it will encounter some dry air over the next couple of days, and we'll focus in on that factor over the next couple of minutes. Well, another map I'd like to show here is the tracks of the ensemble run of the European model here, to show that there's relatively a good agreement amongst most of the computer forecast models in terms of the track. And within a model itself, the ensemble run basically changes the initialization conditions slightly from ensemble run to ensemble run. The one may be a little bit more humid, one may be a little bit warmer, and it helps to determine what kind of variability or what kind of confidence we may have in a particular computer forecast for storm tracks. In this particular case, general agreement here that this system will move to the north and west, right towards Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and then towards the Bahamas late this week, early this weekend, and ultimately towards the Florida Peninsula over the upcoming holiday weekend. That's generally, it'll kind of meander back and forth between a westerly direction and a northwesterly direction. Bottom line, basically a northwest track towards the Bahamas and Florida by the upcoming holiday weekend. Well, let's show a couple of maps that we showed yesterday from the CIMSS University of Wisconsin website. This is a good way to look at the dry air over the Caribbean Sea. This particular map and the next series of maps we'll look at as well. Here is the location of Tropical Storm Dorian as we begin the day here on Tuesday. Again, maximum sustained winds about 50 miles per hour. All of this orange and red out over the Caribbean Sea represents drier air. Basically, it flows from the east to the west in the tropical trade winds this time of the year, and it came off the west coast of Africa several days ago, cuts across the tropical Atlantic, and sometimes can move as far west as the Caribbean Sea. So lots of drier air here. This is basically Saharan desert type of an air mass out ahead of Dorian. That certainly will inhibit intensification over the next couple of days as it slides to the north and west. And this is another way to look at the water vapor content or the dryness of the air, again from the same weather website, the University of Wisconsin website, which is an excellent site to monitor tropical cyclones. Here is the moisture. Moisture shown on these particular maps in red and orange here. A very a definite circulation pattern here with Tropical Storm Dorian as it slides into the Caribbean, the eastern part of the Caribbean. Out ahead of it, all that dry air that shows up on this particular total precipitable water map in blue and green. So again, it will encounter some hostility in the atmosphere, and ultimately, if it goes over the higher terrain of Hispaniola, for example, that will also act to inhibit intensification or even weaken it considerably. Again, the high peaks over that particular island, over 10,000 feet, certainly disrupt lower circulation pattern of a tropical system. So they tend to weaken considerably with interaction with Hispaniola. Even Puerto Rico would act to certainly slow down intensification or even weaken the system. But once it gets out over the open waters again of the western Atlantic near the Bahamas, it could regain some strength late this week or over the upcoming weekend. Again, right now it looks like it may end up over the Bahamas and then ultimately Florida during the upcoming long holiday weekend. Well, let's walk through the forecast maps from last night's 6Z GFS model run. Again, a comfortable start here in the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., very comfortable temperatures and humidity levels. Touch of fall, really, the last few days, even though it's only the latter part of August. Here is the tropical wave sitting and spinning off the east coast, well off the east coast, just classified as a tropical depression right now, number 6, and it is very slow moving, kind of wrapped up in a stalled out frontal system. So let's just move forward here, and we'll see relatively dry conditions continue today along the Atlantic seaboard. Here's that tropical wave number 1 as we get into the Tuesday evening time frame. Let's keep moving forward. Here's a weak frontal system, cool frontal system that will slide towards the east coast during the day on Wednesday. Ahead of it, will turn warmer on Wednesday, more humid, a couple of showers possible, especially during the afternoon. Maybe a late day thunderstorm or evening thunderstorm. Does not appear to be a heavy rain event. Meanwhile, Tropical Depression 6 still sitting off the Carolina coastline. Let's keep moving forward. Finally, that system gets pushed to the northeast by this next cool frontal system that arrives along the eastern seaboard Wednesday night and Thursday, pushes off to the north and east. Now we'll focus our attention down in the Bahamas and Florida as we get towards the end of the work week. And here we go. Here's a little indication right here by the GFS model. By Friday afternoon, not a major hurricane by any means at this particular time. Likely just tropical storm status. But here it is over the Bahamas. Certainly can produce some heavy rainfall. And it continues to move to the north and west and ends up, according to the GFS model, right near central Florida Saturday, Sunday time frame, and certainly can be a big rain producer down there. Meanwhile, large high pressure over New England. Looks like it'll provide some nice weather for New England, Mid-Atlantic region in the Friday, Saturday, Sunday time frame, going right through the long holiday weekend. Let's keep moving forward here. Then by Sunday morning, latest GFS model run has that whatever remains of Tropical Storm Dorian over central Florida by Sunday, September 1st. So we'll continue to monitor the tropical situation over the next several days as Tropical Storm Dorian pushes north and west, first over the eastern Caribbean, then near Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, ultimately to the Bahamas and Florida. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.